Today we're going to be discussing how you can survive your first winter in Medieval Dynasty. So you'll notice that during winter, once you're out and about running around, eventually a little message will come up saying that you're actually feeling cold, and when this happens you can start to take health damage. So here we go, in the top left it says you need to warm up, and a little cold meter appears down here in the bottom left showing that we're getting colder and colder, and as you can see we're also taking health damage there, the health bar starting to flash a little. Now the easiest way to remedy this is to simply press F, and so long as you have a simple torch on you, you'll bring that out in your offhand. Now this will keep you warm enough and prevent you from taking any cold damage throughout the winter. If we press Q and go to the handcrafting menu, you can see that a simple torch is pretty easy to make. It only takes 2 seconds, 1 stick and 10 straw, all of which is easy to get. Similarly, if you're stood by a fireplace or even just inside a building, that'll be enough to help you to stay warm enough to not take damage. One thing that is worth mentioning with the torch when you're using this to keep yourself warm during the winter is if you find that you're getting to a point where you're trying to save the durability, perhaps you need to make up another torch or you have a long journey or something like that, what you can do is actually put the torch away and then run for quite a bit before you actually get cold. So we're running here and we're still fine, and this is all the time that durability would be being used up. Now as you play this game and you start running around like this, you'll start to get a feel for when the cold is about to kick in, and you might be able to bring your torch in just before that happens so you don't take any damage whatsoever. However, as it is hotkeyed to F, as soon as you get that little message coming up that you're starting to get cold, you can go ahead and tap F and you'll take very minimal damage, if any at all. So there we go, I brought my torch back out now as soon as I got that message and I'm good again. And I'd say it took probably at least 30 seconds before that message came up, which over time can really add up. Now I've brought the torch out, I'm instantly putting it back away, and if I run around again, then I've got that 30 seconds once again. So you can really save a lot of durability if you ever find you need to. However, if you're looking for a more permanent solution for the winter where you can go out and about and do your usual business without having to keep making up lots of torches and things like that, then the answer is going to be cloves. Now for your first winter, you're probably not at the stage yet where you're actually producing your own cloves, and as such you will have to buy them. Now currently there are actually 3 towns where there are vendors that will sell you clothing. So if we open up the map here, let's have a look at where these towns actually are. So we have clothing available in Denica, this town here, also in Hornica, the one down here, and in Branica, which is up here. Now do bear in mind it's very similarly named Branica and Baranica, but at least they are near each other. So if you do go to the wrong one, you end up in Baranica, head yourself on over to this one, which is just Branica, and that is where the seamstress vendor is. Now when you get to one of these towns that does have a seamstress, we'll go and have a chat with her, and let's go to show me your wares. Now the observant among you will notice I'm filming this out of order and already have my fur boots and my fur hood. However, you'll see here that the fur boots cost 375 and the fur hood costs 555. So those two total up to 930 coins. So what I'm going to do now is go and show you an early game way that you can make 1,000 coins, just rounding off to 1,000 to make it easier, and then we'll come back and buy the stuff. As I said, film this out of order, so of course I've already bought this stuff, but for the sake of the video, that's what we're going to do now. So in order to make this much money, what I'm going to do is collect myself loads of sticks and stones, and I can hold my torch the whole time I'm doing this, and I'll probably need to make up quite a few torches in the meantime whilst collecting all of this stuff, as this one will eventually burn out. It is important during winter to keep an eye on your torch durability, which is shown down there in the bottom right, as when the torch runs out, you don't want to be caught in the middle of nowhere without a fresh torch ready to go. Now the reason I'm collecting lots of sticks and stones is because what we're going to make up is a lot of stone knives. So if we press Q here, we can see here that the stone knife right there only takes 5 sticks and 2 stones. Now this really isn't much at all, and the secret is you want to be collecting these resources near to a town where you can go and sell them. You can of course sell the stone knife at any vendor in any town, so wherever you want to go that's most convenient for you where you're playing your world will do just fine. So for me, I'm near Gustovia. What I'm going to do is go and collect a load of the stuff around here and craft up those knives, and then we'll head into town and see how much we can sell them for. Now it's worth mentioning that when you're doing the crafting, what you'll no doubt do is you'll want to craft many at a time. So what you should do is go ahead and go inside somewhere, and that way you won't get cold whilst you're crafting up all your knives. So we're in a nice little building here. We should go ahead to the crafting area, go to the knives and make like say 10 here up at a time, and while we're making up these 10, we're inside and protected from that cold, so we don't have to worry about taking any damage. So we're in Gustovia and we're just talking to any of the vendors because as I say it doesn't matter, and you'll see here that a new stone knife that has not yet been used can be sold at 20 each time. So of course every 5 knives will give you 100 coins, and every 50 knives will give you 1,000 coins. Now of course you might already have some coins on you as well. You can see I've already got 310 here, so it's not too difficult to build enough knives within a day or two, and then you get the clothing that you need and have it forever. So I'm actually going to time how long it takes me to do that right now. So if I open my inventory here, you can see now I'm on 1,300 odd coins, so I made about 1,000 coins there, and it took me a little under 20 minutes to do so. Now this time did include me having to make make a couple of extra torches and also recording a couple of very short clips, all of which slow me down just a little bit. But if you are doing this knife method that I'm using here today, then I'd say about 20 minutes seems to be a reasonable amount of time for it to take you to earn about 1,000 coins. So the next thing you're going to want to do is of course set back off for the town that is closest to you that sells the wares that you need. So in this case, obviously the clothing. Now what I recommend that you do is go ahead and sleep and set off first thing in the morning, as then you're not out at night when it's really cold. So I'm going to go ahead and have a snooze right now, then head off in the morning after eating and drinking, so all that's filled right up, and taking plenty of torches with me, and then we'll go to the town and buy the clothing that we need. So here we are back at the seamstress, and this time around we can obviously buy the things that we need to buy. So we're going to go down to the fur items and we're going to buy one of these right here, the fur boots. Let's drag that over there and then press accept on just the one. And we're also going to buy a fur hood, so let's drag that over there and again accept that. Now what we can do is go ahead and press C to get to our inventory and go ahead and put our fur hood on, and also let's get our fur boots and put those on as well. So now I'm going to put my torch away, run through the wilderness here, and we're going to start heading home. So it's actually just set our course there for home. There we go. And you'll see that I'm not going to get cold as I'm doing this. So now you're back to playing the normal version of the game. Really, you don't have to have a torch on you at all times and worry about that. You can just go about your normal business, but of course you're doing it during the winter. So here we go. I've ran all the way back to my house, which if I go ahead and open the map, you'll see that we started just up here in Brannica, and then my house is all the way down here. And I ran all that way and didn't have any issues with the cold whatsoever. And if we go ahead and open up our inventory, then we can have a look at the clothing that we've got. So essentially the fur hood says here plus 25% for the cold protection, and the boots give you plus 35%. So the two of those combined give you 60%, and obviously I'm still wearing my ordinary shirt that I start with, so it's 65% cold protection. Now this isn't 100%, so I assume that eventually we would get to a point where we might need a torch or a campfire to sort of regenerate and give us all this time again. However, to run that distance is quite a way. It's about 1,000 meters, I think it was, in the game, and we had no issues. So we've at least extended our time very, very much. And of course, this is about your first winter, so I'm trying to tailor it to that. You could, of course, go ahead and repeat the knife method and keep buying even more clothing until you get the cold protection all the way up to 100%. A final early game tip for surviving your first winter is to stock up on a few of these things right here. These are broadleaf plantains. Now I say stock up because during the winter they do not grow. From my experience, I've never seen one growing or harvestable during the winter months. I think they just don't grow in that season in this game. So within your first couple of seasons, when you start a new game on Medieval Dynasty, you want to go ahead and stock up as many of them as you possibly can. Now I'm sure you've found some by now, but if you are really new to the game and you're having trouble finding them, I have made a short video that just shows you where and how to find these broadleaf plantains. If you want to watch that video, there'll be a link down in the description, but essentially guys, they just look like this, right? These brown things right here with the green underneath. Thank you so much for watching. On screen right now is some other Medieval Dynasty content if you'd like to watch that, and if you do want to see more of this, please do consider liking and subscribing for more content.